KGVO Missoula Sports Talk tonight and streaming online at Newstalk, KGVO.com.
Howdy ho there, Denny. It is a Wednesday night in the Garden City of
Las Vegas,
Missoula, Montana.
Viva.
By way of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
Where I have
Welcome
taken
back.
up. I've taken up. I'm like Cher. I have a residency down there.
Ah.
It's a losing residency there. They roll out the red carpet for the losers.
Sports Information Director Eric Tabor last Wednesday said, do you think maybe Scott won't come back? Because I kind of like it over here. And I said, now, Eric. Now.
You know, it's funny. I told you I might call, and by golly, Denny, I completely spaced it.
And I told Taves that, too. I said, Guernsey said he might call, so be ready for anything.
Whether it was the Bud Lights or the vodka sodas or the...
Well, we are on we're on an assistant basketball coach hot streak because we had Chris Cobb from the men's team last week. We got Mike Petrino from the Lady Griz this week, and it's been good. We've had some good sports talk tonight. So glad you're back. Glad you had a good time and got everything done. I mean, it was sort of a business trip, if you will. And
It was, Denny, and I'm glad to be back in the KGVO studios. Remember, we are streaming worldwide on Newstalk, KGVO.com. On the AM dial 1290, on the FM side 98.3. Follow us on Twitter at Sports Talk Back. Podcasts online at NewstalkKGVO.com. Our phone number 721-1290. And you know what, Las Vegas, my wife went down there for work, and she had to work, and I just kind of did my own thing and saw her at night, and she was, being the professional that she is, and I was left to my own devices, and that was okay.
Was it nice enough to hang by the pool?
No,
or
it was not.
All right.
It was not. Right. You don't want to see me by the pool anyways, Denny.
Well, I didn't say me. I mean, I'm trying to find things for you to do to keep you busy.
Well,
because we know the devil finds work for idle hands. For idle broadcasters.
Yes, he does, Denny. So then got back on Thursday, then had to go to Bozeman on Saturday for a basketball tournament. You know how much I love Bozeman. Boy, let me tell you.
Yeah, bet they were glad to see you.
And I got a funny story. Mike Petrino, he said his daughter was playing in the same tournament. Big,
oh, cool.
Big, 200-something teams or whatever it is. But we're playing, and Cameron,
your son.
My son, he's pretty tall, he's lanky, he's finding his shot, but what he does is he plays defense, he gets rebounds, he knows where the ball is going to be. He's one of those kids that they're better off when he's on the floor.
Instincts. He's got athletic instincts.
He knows the ball goes in the hoop, but he's still not quite figured out how to get it there on a consistent basis. But anyways, he can make a left-handed lane, which is more than I could ever do. So he's playing, and all of a sudden he takes an elbow from a teammate, and you see a little bit of blood on his mouth, and he runs down the court, and they turn the ball over, and he's kind of tugging in his mouth and, kind of rubbing his mouth. He runs back down and turn the ball over and come back. And finally, the play stops, and the coach takes him out of the game. And he goes, and there are benches on the other side of the bleachers. And he runs over, and he's kind of pointing his mouth, and he starts going towards around the deal, like to the door, and I hightail it down there.
Of
and
course.
The poor kid has got his lip stuck on a bracket of his braces, and he can't get it off.
Oh!
And I'm like, and my wife was there, and my ex-wife as well, his mother, and she's a nurse. I said, Keisha, get over it. I said, I'm not doing this. And she comes over, and she had to put her finger all the way up to the top of his gum and then, like, tug down to get it off. Bleeding pretty good. He goes in the bathroom, rinses his mouth out, grabs some toilet paper, kind of dabs it a little bit. He hasn't even cried, and his mouth is numb.
I'm crying.
Yeah. So he goes back to the bench, goes back into the game, and I kid you not, he's in the game for 5 seconds, and the play's going, and the whistle blows, and a kid had passed the ball, and boom, nut shot. I mean, just about drops him.
Poor
and
Cameron.
I'm just in front of those dudes who go, oh, God. It was like the car crash. You don't want to watch, but you look and you kind of giggle. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Suddenly, the lip in the braces feels pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So after the game, he's like, Dad, I almost threw up. And I go, oh, because of your lip? And he goes, no, because of my balls.
Yeah, because of my lip. Yeah, real nice.
Now I was proud of him for getting back in there and still playing, and he was fine.
Good.
That's why I bought you the damn mouthpiece, Cameron.
Yeah.
So
And how did Team Cameron do at the tournament?
they were 1-3.
tournament.
They beat the Missoula team, so that was kind of cool. And then they when you go 4 for 19 from the free throw line.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not going to win. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not going to win many, right, Mike? Not going to win many games there.
No.
Rick,
that'll hurt you.
Rick Barry could have been there to give him a few lessons. But
blindfolded.
But hey, this is Sports Talk tonight, and we've got assistant women's basketball coach Mike Petrino sitting in the hot seat. How you doing, Mike?
Doing great. Thank you very much.
Finally got you on. Yeah.
Speaking of hot seats,
because Schwain usually hogs it. If we need a Lady Griz persona in here, if we need a rep, Shannon wants on it. But yesterday at the coaches show, she thinks I guess I'll volunteer Petrino for this one.
Well,
I was tired of looking at Shannon anyways.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
blindsided him yesterday during the noon hour, but we're glad he could find time to be with us.
I've heard great things about this. We actually listened. We were in Fargo, North Dakota, listening to the show.
Oh,
remember?
You were part of that.
Yeah.
deal.
Oh, yeah. We were in the room. We were glued.
I did not know you were part of that deal.
It was a tailgate gathering.
Yes,
we were lucky enough to be close enough to the speaker to hear the radio show with Riley.
well, I knew it was more than you and just Shannon
Well, it
because
was
you
Dick
need more
Slater
than
and Tom
Well, I was going to
State.
say
Yep.
you need more than one person to keep an eye on Slater and State.
Yeah.
Is the deal. So.
It takes a village, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
You guys are absolutely on fire.
Congratulations on a great start.
Well, it's amazing a year makes. I mean, last year this time we're 4 wins total. I think we're 1-8, and a year later, and then the way it started too. Losing Kaylee again and losing Alicia again, and then to be 7-2 is great for our girls. They worked really hard. I think Shannon's done a great job. She had so much thrown at her first year, and so much thrown at her in this year, but she's done a great job. And it's been fun so far, and it's a long way to go, but we're very excited where we're at.
You mentioned last year, and then and this year was almost a carbon copy.
Yeah.
What is the difference between how were they able to overcome the adversity? I think I know the answer, but
yeah, I mean, there's 2 things. There's one, there's the experience factor. I mean, last year we were so young. We playing so many young kids and inexperienced kids, and I used to joke with friends all the time that we can't play night games. It's past our bedtime. We gotta play all afternoon games because we're so young, and it showed. And God bless our fans. I mean, our fans. I tell kids all the time and recruits and all that how many teams go through a year like that but still lead the league in attendance. They didn't. They had reason to leave. They had reason to give up, and they did, and they stayed. And at the end of the year, we had a little spark, and then have the news start over again this year with losing Kaylee and Alicia. But the experience factor, definitely, and then a freshman from Malta, Sophie Stiles, had a big impact. Caitlin Lonergan has been good, but they will tell you too that they wouldn't be where they're at without the other teammates that have helped them. And just I think experience is getting better. And we have 1 senior right now, and we don't know the future of Kaylee yet, if she'll come back or not. That's still undecided. Get asked that every week. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's doing great in her rehab. Everything's going well, but one thing that we're excited about is our future, and at the same time we're enjoying the present too.
Yeah, I think that it does speak to team loyalty and just how devoted your players are to that Lady Griz program. That Kaylee Valley, everything that she's been through, and I know that she wants nothing more than to put in 1 more year as a Lady Griz.
It's amazing, Denny, that there's it's hard to find a program with as much rich history as Lady Griz. I mean,
right.
you walk through that hall of champions, and of course Shannon's at the top of the list with all-time points, and I think there's 32,000 point scorers. Only 1 person did under 100 games. That's Kaylee Valley. Everybody else, it took over 100 games to get it. And for her to have, I think, 98 games and still be over 1,000 points in that list, it's pretty remarkable. And it just shows you how good she is. And if she would have had her average year, I think she would have gone from, mid-20s or high 20s to top 5. She has an average year this year scoring. So what a career she's had. And, yeah, you don't want to see it cut short. And if she decides to come back, great. If she doesn't, she gets married this summer. And, she'll have a great life.
I think another, you talked about the fan base and the loyalty of the fan base, and I think it also speaks to how their glass is half full. I don't even remember who it was I was talking to last year. It was the game at North Dakota, and you lost by 10. I think it was maybe 72. I want to say 72 to 62. I said, well, lost another one on the road, and somebody said, yeah, but you know what? Freshmen just hung 60 points on North Dakota. 60 of your 62.
I remember that. I remember that show.
Yeah, and 60 of your 62 scored by freshmen, and that you had every reason to be more optimistic coming into this season because you knew what you had. It just didn't have a lot of seasoning on it.
Right. And we all know that they're a talented group. And again, I think last year was really challenging because you didn't want to, you could only do so much and give them so much. And this year it's been fun that as you're putting together scouting reports, they're actually coming with ideas, or they're saying, "Oh, we got to do this, right?" Yeah. Where last year we didn't know. I joke about the kid thing. We said we could do them in crayons because that was the only way to get them to pay attention.
Crayons at bedtime. I like
that.
I wonder how many more of these he's got.
No, that's we lived through all of it, and but the experience is great. It's amazing, the growth and the confidence, and I said we should listen to you guys' show every Wednesday night because we won that next game in North Dakota, and that broke the streak, and we hated hearing that streak, but it was reality. Facts are facts. We hadn't won a road game, and that's why this last weekend was so big to win 2 in one weekend.
Sure,
it was big for our growth of our team.
Sports Talk tonight. We've got Mike Petrino, assistant basketball coach for the Lady Griz, and the games I've been to, you got a freshman named Sophia Stiles. Or Sophia,
yeah.
Either way. How unusual, correct me if I'm wrong, I know she's only a freshman, but when she's in the ball game, she's not the team leader by any stretch of the imagination, but you guys kind of are better as a whole when she's in the ball. She seems to just do a little bit of everything.
No, you're right. She impacts the game, and she brings a spark. She brings athleticism. I think I've been most impressed with her IQ. Her basketball IQ is great. She, if she hears someone else being told something, she does it. And as you know, in sports, to hear it and do it's great. But when you pick up on someone else's cue, she's great at that. She's got great hands, super quick. She's a winner. I mean, she won, a lot of state championships in track. She won in basketball. She's a great competitor. And, you have all this hype to this kid, right? She's had all these awards. She's the Gatorade Player of the Year. She's all these
right.
things. You never know how it's going to click with kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the most humble kids I've ever been around. I mean, she doesn't talk about her great pass or her great steal. She talks about, I turned the ball over on that one time. I mean, she just has this great drive. And she impacts the game. And when you go on a road, and last Thursday she has her career high of 26, and after the game, she's so excited about everybody else. I mean, every time she steps on the floor, something fun happens, and she's only gonna get better, and she loves being a Lady Griz. Lady Griz are loving having her too.
And you should have heard the men's home crowd when we announced that because they had 4,000 on Thursday night. Nice crowd for their game, and the Lady Griz was Southern Utah, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Lady Griz Southern Utah game. It started a half an hour earlier, and so we were able to announce the final.
When we're down 14 the first quarter.
We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we had to set the scene a little bit. We did not have a great start.
Right, you're down 14-1. But we announced that final score, and actually the crowd erupts, and I figured, well, we might as well throw in this thing about freshman Sophia Stiles leads the way with 26, and they just, whoa!
Well, can I have a bone to pick with ESPN right now. I'm gonna.
Oh, really? Okay.
Since we're not ESPN, right, Denny? So
last time I checked.
Yeah, so I can.
We're Gurns and Bedard.
I can pick away. So when I keep on forgetting about the Pluto TV thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was gone, and I wanted to see the box scores of the game. And I click on the men's, and I see, Rory scored this, and then I go to the girls, and you get the score, but you don't get the box score.
Yeah.
I mean, it drives me nuts. I want to see how people did.
You got to go to this.
You're a fan. You're a real fan.
You got to go to the specific school websites for that, gogriz.com or what have you. But yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, I'm good.
You okay now?
Maybe.
And before we leave that about Sophia, and we talked to Shannon about this a few weeks back, is that a lot of those recruits that come in with all the accolades and awards and accomplishments, they have a pretty good idea how to try to score the ball, but they haven't necessarily mastered the art of defense. And I think that for a true freshman, that's one of the things I am most impressed with her. She seems to just have that knack.
And quickness makes up for
is that
for a lot of gambling.
It's natural,
too.
But
the more you're in coaching, the more you realize that the quicker and more athletic they are, the better coach you are, right? And
you are a genius.
Yeah, and she is super quick, but her instincts are great, and she generally likes impacting the game and helping others. I mean, she's a special talent and is going to get better. And
yeah,
I don't think she realizes how good she is yet.
I got a new segment, Denny. Sophia Stiles is my jack of all, king of none. How about that? How about that? You can do it all.
Catchphrase.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Denny, let's change somebody's tax bracket.
721-1290. If you know this week's Sports Talk Tonight trivia, we're not going to work you too hard tonight, but of course we're brought to you by Fuddruckers and Happy Days Car Wash. So we've got a $10 gift certificate to Fuddruckers on Gerns is moving microphones. There we go. All right. Where are you now? Are you on?
I'm on the same one. I just switched coaches over there.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I see what you did. All right.
Okay.
All right. Fuddruckers, world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off that menu, you get to top it yourself. On North Reserve, we got a $10 gift card to Fuddruckers. We've got a gift card for the Works Car Wash from Brent and the crew at Happy Days Car Wash. You want the best car wash and vac in town? Well, you go to Happy Days on Brooks. They are located between Pizza Hut and Fairbridge Inn and Suite. I also figured, since we're talking Lady Griz basketball, we better give you a couple of reserve seats to the Brawl of the Wild game. Lady Griz take on the Bobcats on Saturday, February 24th. We've got 2 reserve seat tickets to that ball game at 721-1290. If you know the answer, we may get around to talking about the Super Bowl. We don't know, but we do know it's Super Bowl Sunday. The New England Patriots, the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 52.
L2.
Yeah.
There you go.
L2.
It's a rematch. It's a rematch of Super Bowl A 36, B 39, or C 42. Patriots and Eagles rematch of Super Bowl A 36, B 39, or C 42. I desperately need a winner, Gerns, at 721-1290.
You stumped this chump, Denny, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, maybe it's not as easy as I thought.
Give us a call. We'll make you a winner when we come back. Sports Talk Tonight.
721-1290.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by the Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. By Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse, Big Sky, Big Selection, and online at grizzlyliquor.com. And the Ranch Club, golf, dining, entertainment, events, and the incredible pool. Visit them online at ranchclub.com, located just off Mullen Road. Denny, nobody loves us tonight.
I'm surprised. I guess it was a little harder than I thought. So, heck, we better give the next contestant 3 tries. I don't know.
They heard Lady Griz basketball coach, and Shannon didn't show up until they turned off.
I did really shift gears. Usually my trivia is kind of, a theme to who we got in here, but I figured with Super Bowl Sunday. Anyway, 721-1290 if you want the Happy Days Car Wash gift card, the 2 reserve seat tickets to the Lady Griz Bobcat game, and the gift card to Fuddruckers. I still need a winner. Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Patriots and the Eagles. That's a rematch of Super Bowl A 36, B 39, or C 42. 721-1290 if you want to, as Gern says, get into a higher tax bracket.
Speaking of, the new tax stuff is going into effect in the middle of February, Denny.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
All right. Thanks,
So,
Gern.
in case people have been looking at their checks going, oh, they're liars. No, it just hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
look at that.
Yeah. You talk to Mike.
Yeah.
I'll go get a winner.
Yeah. So how's it going, Mike?
It's going great. It's going great.
Oh, how many years you been here now? 2?
Yeah. This is year 2 here. Year 25 overall is my 25th year coaching.
Well, you look like you're about 25 years old.
That was the joke when I first started. Yeah. I remember going to coaching in Kalispell. We go to Helena Capital. Saturday game, right? There's no one in school. You get dropped off there because you're playing at Fort George. Not
Yeah, right. Yep.
And I'm young. I want to say 4th year coaching. I looked really young. I was going to school, college still, and freshman girls team right back in the fall. And, I go to this. I try to find someone. I find someone to say, "Hey, can we get in the gym? We have a game here." And the lady says, "Your coach will be here soon." And I said, "Well, I am the coach." And she said, "How old are you?" And my immaturity showed because I said, "Well, I'm old enough to be a coach. How old are you?" And that was probably not the most answer to you. I haven't grown up. I've gotten older.
Maybe wiser.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't grown up either. Just out. Denny, we got a winner.
We do. We have Scott Smith on the phone. How are you tonight, Scott?
Hey, I can barely hear you, but doing great.
All right, I can fix that. There we go. Hey, Scott, Super Bowl Sunday coming up. The Patriots and the Eagles. It's a rematch of Super Bowl A 36, B 39, or C 42. What do you think there, Scott?
You said it was B.
Well, it's amazing when you look at all the Patriots
Yes, it is.
Super Bowl victories. 2002 by 3 points, 2004 by 3, 2005 by 3, 2014 by 4. That makes last year's miracle overtime, win like a blowout of 6 points. But Super Bowl 39, 2005, New England 24, Philadelphia 21. We were looking for B. I know you're a big Griz basketball fan. You been enjoying the teams much this year so far?
They've been awesome.
Yeah.
Fun to go.
You bet. Well, we appreciate you listening to the show. I've got all the info I need. We'll get your prizes mailed out to you, all right?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott.
All
Great
right.
name.
Scott Smith, our latest winner. Eric Gerns.
I know a Scott Smith, but I don't think that's the Scott Smith that I know.
Who's your Super Bowl pick? Or Scott?
My pick? I did put money on the Eagles and the over, and I teased them both. So I've got the Eagles. I got the Eagles plus 11.5, and the over at like 37. So I'm rooting for the Eagles, anyways, because I just I have no reason to not like the Patriots. I mean, Belichick's weird. Brady's good, and honestly, people can hate on Brady all they want, but he's never done anything or said really anything to have, Gronkowski, you wanted to hate the guy, but now you want to be him for a week, just to, to be the goofy frat guy or whatever the heck, I don't know. When I'm not rooting for a team, I don't know if Denny said this, and I agreed wholeheartedly. I'm going to steal what you told me.
Sure, that's fine.
If you don't have a team to root for, you want to see somebody win that hasn't before.
Yeah.
And I think the Eagles are a great story after losing Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And still, being able to make it. And I think it all lies on Nick Foles.
And I couldn't even tell you the background of this or why, but I've always kind of lean toward rooting for the NFC teams most of the time. So I got that, and then a team that's never won it, even though they throttled my beloved Vikings and kept them from playing on their home field for the first time in Super Bowl history. I guess I'm leaning toward the Eagles a little bit.
Well, you're a fan of the great play, though. I mean, that finish for the Vikings-Saints game.
Oh yeah, I'll always have
as
that.
a fan is.
Yeah,
we'll always have Minneapolis.
Yes.
Yeah. See how great it is to come on this show. You
It's
thought,
great.
oh man, all I'm going to do is talk basketball again and again. No, we
great.
throw you into the Super Bowl.
This is a Renaissance show. No question.
That is
No question.
I don't know if I've ever heard that before, but
Gerns, you're a Renaissance man.
I am from the dark ages.
Yeah.
So you're a Vikings fan. What was your
Seahawks?
Seahawks? Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I grew up a Steeler fan,
Oh,
Okay.
so I can remember being.
You remember stealing the Super Bowl from the
Well,
Seahawks?
I can't go a minute without a Seahawks fan bringing that up. But
Just admit that it was the worst officiated game
it's
in
hard.
the Super
I
Bowl
can't
history.
admit that. No,
Come on!
Wait till after Sunday. Wait till after Sunday. We don't know yet.
Oh boy.
I can remember being a kid at that Mean Joe Green commercial,
The Coke commercial.
the Coca-Cola commercial.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, just stuck with them. And obviously, as a fan, I've only had 3 head coaches. That's
Yeah.
kinda cool. Now everyone goes, just bandwagon. Well, I lived through the Cliff Stout era at quarterback. I mean, I lived through some lean years too. And then this year, and then the Patriots have knocked my team out more than anybody. But I still respect them so much. I still enjoy watching the dynasty.
What do you speaking of the Steelers, what do you think about the scuttle and the talk about some ownership individuals wanting to get rid of Mike Tomlin?
Well, I love when the story clears out that they're the minority ownership. Yeah, well, you only hear about them when they're disgruntled. And I like Tomlin. I mean, I don't blame it all on him. I mean, we weren't too upset with him when he won one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they could have. I thought they maybe underachieved by a game at least. It would have been fun to see him play the Patriots, but they got They got beat, man. Got handled by the Jags. I mean, you got to call it what it is. Twice this year. Twice.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Got beat by them. So, what Bill Parcells has the great line about your record. You are what you are. We're 0-2 against them this year. So
they are who we thought they were.
That was Denny Green. Yep.
Well, before we let you forget about basketball, I guess it's your second season, I believe, with the team. I guess we should ask you a little bit about your background and then the path to the job you have now with Lady Griz.
Well, I have
25 years, 25th year of coaching, Denny.
Counting, first grade, first job ever was, back when the season was in the fall, right? Montana hoops. Girls were in the fall and boys were in the winter.
Yep.
7th grade girls basketball and 7th grade boys basketball. And my path is a little unique. I do come from a coaching family, but I'm the only basketball coach. The rest are all football coaches.
Right.
So I always say I read books, they color them, but no, I shouldn't say that on the air, should I? No.
I like it.
But I'm very lucky to have that big of a family, and my brothers are both football coaches. I got one's the head coach at Rocky Mountain College, and the other one's an assistant for him. Uncle, who was the first coach, Bob Sr., who was at Carroll College forever, and his sons Bobby and Paul. Bobby, of course, at Louisville, and Paul's at Idaho. And then their kids, Paul's got a daughter who's plays in the softball team here at University of Montana.
Oh, cool.
She was a freshman last year, started for him in left field, and so it was fun to see her. I hadn't seen her until when I got here. I hadn't seen her since she was a baby. So, we've been all over travel all over. But coached 8 years in Montana, 10 years in Oregon, then started the college level at the University of Wyoming for 4 years, was at the University of Colorado a year, and then the chance to come home. My wife's from Missoula. Actually married into a coaching family. Eric Hayes, the longtime coach at Hellgate. Kelly's I got married to Kelly. We actually met coaching against each other. So that was a unique situation.
Cool.
Coaching freshman girls basketball in the fall. And,
You asked her out, and she thought you were asking her to the prom?
yeah.
Because you look so young.
I set that up. Nice.
Here we go.
No, actually, after the game, I actually asked her for a phone number so that we could talk about scouting reports for freshman girls basketball. Here's the bad part. I was serious. And everyone thinks that was my line. It turns out it was the best one I ever had. But it was, fourth game of the year, and I always tease her. But, we all grew up at the same time. I say that when I watched her yell at the refs, it was like that Dreamweaver scene in Wayne's World, right, where she's yelling at the ref. And you got the lights in the background. Right there.
Love it.
So we had a chance to move back here to Missoula and have lots of family in the area. The smartest Petrino actually has his office down in Reserve here. He's a dentist in town.
Oh.
He's obviously too smart.
And
to
that
coach,
relation is
he's my cousin.
your cousin. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
I
well.
always tell everybody he's the smartest one because
Sure.
he's in
Very.
the medical field. Where
I went to the dentist today.
All right.
Hard teeth, Denny.
I'm having a hard time keeping you on task tonight.
You
I
know
don't what it
who
is.
you know who cleans my teeth? Stephen Failer's mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no Petrino family
No,
connection there.
But
which was
Montana Grizzlies, Stephen Failer.
sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Stephen Failer and a Lady Griz.
Yeah.
and just built a brand new
Looks beautiful.
26 humongous
Yep.
training facility,
Awesome.
full court basketball, 65-yard turf. I mean, it's just huge. It's out kind of by the airport.
My daughter this summer went to some of the lessons there. They do a great job.
Hey, and boy, do I hear a new guest coming on the show? I think I
Good
better
call.
give Mr. Failer.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I think
because,
you should.
You know,
Yeah.
On location.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Excellent call.
no, then we might have to bring our tennis shoes or something.
I do know that it was talked about the one of your many strengths was recruiting. How do you develop that? You obviously make contacts and connections where you're located at your current job, and then you move on. Do you kind of have to start over, or do you hope that you're pretty well networked where you were, and that maybe something a benefit will come of that somewhere down the road? I know that the Lady Griz are in pretty good shape the next two recruiting classes, but you're always making those contacts and connections.
No, it's a fluid situation, and I enjoy the recruiting part. I enjoy, like a sports person would, you enjoy following everybody, and you meet people, and you programs, whether it's high school or club. I still, being a former high school coach, I still feel the role of the high school coach is very important in the process, which is hard in our sport because we have other culture out there that tries to take away from that. But I think there's good people on both sides, and you work that, and I think I enjoy recruiting, and it's easy to recruit when you have a fan base like this, when you have a boss like Shannon, why wouldn't you want your daughter to come play for someone like her who's been successful? Female. I have 2 daughters, and that's one of the best parts of bringing your daughters to the practice. Whether they play basketball or not, it's not important. As of whether they get to know these young ladies who are great role models. It's kind of important. Well, it would be fun. It'll be fun, but it's not the most important thing to them. But when they get to be around the Lady Griz players, the Jace Henderson, who babysits our girls, they're just great kids that you want their role models to be. So when you recruit, you got Shannon, you got Sonia Stoken, we got Jordan Sullivan. These are successful women who are great for. It's easy to try to recruit to, and you show off your program.
Well, and if you recruit the right gals, then they do the recruiting.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah. When we bring them on campus, the connection the players make, you can do all the groundwork and the beginning stuff and get it going, but when you make that connection with them, that's what seals the deal.
Well, it's unique in Montana that not unique to Montana, but since it's so small, most of these girls in Montana have either played with each other in summer AAU stuff, or they played against each other. Yep. They're probably already Snapchat friends and Facebook friends, and so it's almost like, oh, hey, buddy, and let's all go win a Big Sky Championship or 4.
You're right, and one of the best things I tell our recruits is, I go, you come here to a place where we lead. We average more fans than 9 Pac-12 women's teams.
Oh my goodness,
we average more fans than 9 of them. Okay, when we can tell them those stats, we can tell them those things. We say, you will be recognized in town. You will be recognized around town. You'll be recognized at a grocery store or a mall or this or that. Really? And when they bring my account, you ask them. I don't have to even tell the girls what they're going to say. Ask them if they ever get recognized in town. Oh, yeah. That rock star status is great. It's, again, our fan base is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And to go through last year and stay with them, and this year they're, as loud as ever, and it's just great. Great.
Awesome.
Hey, we'll take another quick break. We come back more with Coach Petrino of the Lady Griz basketball program. When we come back, Sports Talk Tonight, Gurns and Bedard.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. A great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Bell McCall is your locally owned, low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Find them at granitepharmacy.com. And by The Peak Health and Wellness, with 3 premier facilities in Missoula and a dedicated staff to help you achieve and maintain your health and wellness goals. Right, Denny?
Yes, sir.
Right, Denny. We are
got to stay healthy for Sports Talk Tonight, Mr.
Coach Petrino in studio with us, making himself nice and comfy.
Yeah.
Just kind of nice and comfy atop the Big Sky standings, Denny.
7-2.
Yep.
Right.
Not too comfortable, though.
Play.
Not too good. No, not at all. You're right.
Half a game is not real comfy, but
you're right.
Still great to be 7-2 in first place, though.
What are we, halfway through the Big Sky Conference?
Yeah, it's definitely a tougher stretch finishing up, but we'll take it.
Who's just looking at the league and for the start of the year and where it's at now? Who's surprised you in a good way, and who's done not as well as you thought going into the season?
I think if you asked anybody to pay attention to the league, I think us and Weber State are the big surprises. Where we were picked, and then especially after. And it was funny is the vote was done before the news broke about Kaylee both years.
Mm-hmm.
So if
oh wow,
and they actually both years she was actually voted preseason player of the year.
Exactly.
And then Joel Carlson, great SID, said, hey, by the way, this has happened, and they re-voted for player of the year, but they didn't re-vote for team voting, which that's not here nor there, but everyone goes, God, I would vote you guys way lower. We get that a lot, which is kind of funny. But no, I think our teams are surprised, but again, it's like you said, not very comfortable because we've got a bunch of teams with we got teams with 3 losses, a bunch of teams with 4 losses. The team that was picked to win the league is Northern Colorado. That's who we play tomorrow, and they got us in Greeley. Very good team. So you're right. It's not comfy yet, but we're very excited about having them at home, though.
And of course, the way it works every year, one season it kind of favors the men's team, one it favors the women's team. More road games on the backside of the schedule than home games for you. You have to end the season on the road. They move the typical Thursday, Saturday up by a day, Wednesday, Friday to accommodate you having to go right to Reno to get into the Big Sky tournament. So and that in itself makes it a little bit tougher. But a few teams, 4 teams yet that you have not seen this year. Another oddity about the schedule where you play the other teams twice before you play 4 teams once. And a long road. If nothing else, and not saying that you got to feast on inferior competition, that's not it at all. The point is that it probably going into the back 9 games. You talked earlier in the show about the confidence factor. Doesn't matter who they played in the Big Sky Conference. Right. They've won 7 of those 9 games in the Big Sky Conference, and it's kind of like the men's team that we've been enjoying a lot as well this year, 9-0 in conference play. You can just see confidence building here and there.
Yeah, we've earned where we're at so far, and
good point.
We've earned where we're at, and any success we have down the road will be earned as well. So it's challenging, but it's a lot of fun, and like I said, it's the growth in the last year has been really fun to witness.
Defense and hustle wins you a lot of games.
Sure does, and it also helps when the ball goes in the hole.
There is
at some point, the ball does need to go through the hoop, and fortunately this year we've had a good balance too. I think that's one thing too. We have a good balance. Of different scores. I think of our 9 games, we've had several games where we've had a different lead score, which is great. That's what you want.
But shooting percentage, field goal percentage, is on the uptick a little bit.
It is on the uptick, and we still have room to grow.
Sure.
It's not. We can't hide the fact that we're in the top 12 at least in 3-point percentage, but for field goals made, but we're still 12th, so we have room to grow there. And but last year, our field goal percentage was definitely a challenging number, but we're up, and it's great, and we still, like I said, room to grow. And it's fun to see the kids are buying into it too. They're getting in the gym and shooting more, and that's good because, as you know, you need to practice.
Well, and that, even though the percentage is low, is the offensive boards? Is that helping things out?
What's that? I'm sorry.
The shooting percentage is on the low side, but is offensive rebounds?
We're actually tops in the league in rebounding. So, and I said that when you're used to not going in, you tend to chase the ball more, but we are getting better at that. We have something that hasn't happened with Coach Schwain, by the way, a phone call.
Well, they're afraid of her, but they feel much more comfortable with Mike.
Very intimidating.
Can you guys hear through those headphones? Just down, kind of like a little. Okay. Can you hear that one? Pete had a question for you. How are you tonight, Pete?
Good.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, go ahead.
Question, Coach, on recruiting, and I asked this out of ignorance, not insight. Are you kind of always got your penciled in for a blue chipper that might exist here or there in Portland or Denver or Salt Lake or Chicago that maybe you might be interested? I know that many years ago we almost landed a gal here, and 10 days before she came, she committed to the University of Connecticut, for example.
Wow.
And just kind of out there to expose them to the program and maybe land one.
No, it definitely is. You don't have any boundaries for talent. There's no boundaries there. You always keep your eye out. You network, you find people, and then, as you know, there is a transfer epidemic. I mean, there's people are transferring all right and left. You always keep a pulse on it. One of the unique situations we have with being so young is we do have a lot of spots filled, but it's a fluid situation. Recruiting is always fluid. You never know when things change in life. Kid gets hurt, things happen, and you want to be. We all have a list of people that we're ready to go to if something happens.
Yeah, and I think part of not to talk for Peter. Thanks for the call. He did hang up so he could listen on air, I assume. But I think another point he was making that anymore in this day and age, you want to be regional. You go after the blue chip Montana kids. You want them, and you look in Washington and Oregon. Makes a lot of sense. But I think to his point that just with all the social media and the way things are now, it might give you more opportunities to spread out the recruiting process.
Well, and we have a great product.
Exactly.
I mean, we when we have our teams coming for Lady Griz Classic, the teams we had this year, all 3 teams, we had teams from California and we had a team from Oral Roberts, and they all on different occasions came up and said, this is amazing. The atmosphere was great. They loved the fans. They loved that the fans came for the game that didn't include Montana. You know, they came to the other game, and you know, they will come back anytime. I mean, they love the environment and the atmosphere. Of course, Missoula is a beautiful place, so we have a great product to sell. It's just a matter of those people learning about it and finding out. And then when you add the facility upgrades we have now, and all those things are great. But again, it goes back to the people. Our fan base is great.
Back to Peter's question, you know, we don't generally recruit to the big city, because if you're good enough, you're going to get looks. But maybe you'll land that, and this goes for guys as well. Maybe you have a gal who's a 5'9" post player who needs to be like 6'2" to go to the University of Washington. But I'll use the prime example, like Ann Lake. You know, she was 5'11" and dominated the Big Sky.
Dominated, yeah.
If she would have been 6'2", she could have probably wrote her ticket to go anywhere you want. Maybe that's the kind of the kind of, I guess, star that would fall through the cracks from a bigger city that a place like, and Montana can land whoever they want, but that might be where you would get one of those kind of players.
It's all about fit, as you know. You went through the process. It's all about finding that fit and that place that means more than the fact that you can just play a sport. You know, there's great things here going on here, and like I said, it's fun working for Shannon and the great histories are of this program, and you know, it's rare to have alumni come back and be great, successful coaches. I mean, she did it. Larry Krasovic did it, of course, here. I mean, it doesn't always work that way.
During practice and scouting, what are some of your roles? I know Shannon gave you a lot of credit. I guess it was the Northern Arizona game where you guys came out and I believe hit 3 or 4 of your first 3-point attempts, because Shannon was saying Mike saw something in there that he thought might work. What is the process there? Yeah,
that was nice of Shannon to say that. I mean, the reality is we have a great staff, and Shannon lets us speak our minds, and we say things because, as you know, with any family, it's not always going to be agreeable. But,
sure.
But she does a great job of that. Sonia Stoken and Jordan Sullivan, we all have a good voice. And again, when the ball goes in the hole, your idea looks a lot better, too. So let's give more credit to Taylor Goligoski and Maddie Schoening for those back-to-back threes.
Okay.
But, no, we just saw some things that they did, and I think every coach brings up points, and again, it's a great staff in the sense that, you know, we're all getting more comfortable with each other too. You know, last year was the first year of us knowing each other, working together. It's one thing to know someone; it's another thing to work with them, and that's growing as well. And we got a great group now where we get to share that. And again, Shannon's nice enough to give credit to people, and I'm not the smartest guy on staff by any means. I'm not going to say that, but it was great to have.
You're the only guy on staff, aren't you?
I'm
so you are the smartest guy.
I'm the top 3 of the guys on staff. Yeah.
I guess staying with a coaching strategy theme, if I may, one more question regarding.
And by the way, being around Slater and stage makes you look smarter too.
Okay.
So, you know,
really? Well, yeah, that would. Yeah.
This is true. This is true.
Just kidding, Tom and Dick. I think they listen, so be careful tomorrow night.
They are great. They are great.
Getting back to that Northern Arizona game, not to turn this into the Sophia Style Show Part 2, but you did make a starting lineup change for that game. You went to a smaller, quicker style lineup. Was there something in Northern Arizona's starting unit? Did you just feel you needed a little more speed, or what was the decision there?
Yeah, it's a matchup issue as well. I mean, obviously Sophia's playing great, but also you got to match up to what they line up with.
Sure.
This week will be interesting too, because we have a team like Northern Colorado that starts 4 guards. They play small, and then North Dakota they'll play big. So it's a very good chance we'll have a different lineup that way too. But it was a lineup change. It was also a way to get a good start. Sophia coming off a great game. She was the natural person to fit that, and it worked. We had a good start.
Right.
And it was good. And that doesn't always happen when we have a change. But again, showing our depth and options. You know, last year we had players. This year I think we have more options and more talent, more strengths to balance out. And Shannon's done a great job of working those.
That jumps out a lot in the statistics, doesn't it? Bench points. It's rare when Montana does not score more bench points than their opponent.
Yeah, and I think the girls have bought in and taken pride in that. You know, it's neat to see, because it's always great to have a spark. Someone comes on the bench to have a spark, and again, you know, there's trends in all sports that are underrated and overrated, and starting is one of them.
Well, and that
how you finish is more important.
And that just shows you the team that you have, because a lot of people think they should be the starter, and they get their daubers down, and then when they get in the game, they just have a bad. Yeah, but I mean, if you can get people just coming off the bench and let's keep it going.
And one of the funnest part about watching film again of our games is seeing our bench get so excited when their teammates go well.
You bet.
All the highlights you see,
that as a coach or figure of younger kids, you look at that and you go, that's the best. I mean, when they're sincerely cheering for each other and they have their little dances and that's great, because it's great because one, it's sincere. You can't fake that. It's real, and it's why this team is close.
Yeah. Is that one of your duties too, the choreography? Who teaches them that?
Yeah, well, if I taught the dance, they would be a different outcome. We wouldn't be winning games. I know that. We would. I let them have that. Okay. But the kids do laugh when I bring up like a Bruno Mars song like that. They look at me like street cred goes down. Yeah.
Well, we can't have that.
Before we run out of time, we're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we'll have a little stupid, we'll have a little steal.
Sounds good.
And a little more Coach Petrino, and then we'll get out of here. Sports Talk tonight. Gurns and Bedard.
Billiards.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We are back. Sports Talk tonight, where we are educating the masses. Brought to you in part by Jerry Wessels Tire Center, locally owned. Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana's source for Cynic's fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years, Denny.
It is time for Scott Guernsey's Steel of the Week. That brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality, manufactured, and fabricated steel products. Guernsey Steel of the Week.
Let's go to the Grizzly football recruiting scene, Denny,
Oh,
where it was announced 2 or 3 days ago that Milton Mamula has committed, from Pennsylvania, has committed to the University of Montana. He is a 6'3", 220-pound defensive end. It's funny, I knew who his dad was immediately, because his dad was Mike Mamula, who played football at Boston College. He was drafted in the first round, and he's been dubbed as one of the worst first-round draft picks of all time. He was one of those guys that wasn't even on the scene, and he came to the combine and just killed it at the combine. He's a combine guy. He played for like 6 years for the Eagles, and I was like, okay, that's great. Well, then I delved deeper into the story, and the kid he was hurt his sophomore and his freshman and sophomore year. He was hurt again his junior.
I knew about the junior year.
He couldn't even run until like August of his senior year. He goes and just dominates. Come to find out, Tim Houck played 2 years with Mamula when he was with the Eagles, and Timmy's still over in Philly, as we all know. And lo and behold, the kid he was off. He had about 6 offers, and he had a preferred walk-on to Michigan.
Right,
but
that one.
The guy must like the outdoors or something, because he is coming here, and probably because he hasn't had a lot of film, he hasn't probably played a lot, he was able to slide down, and we were able to steal him at the University of Montana, and that is my steal of the week.
Brought to you by True North Steel.
Stupid of the week, Denny. And and as we've grown this program over the years from a scant 20 listeners to maybe 40.
We've cultivated
Mike's wife and family.
Nurturers. Yeah, that's what we are.
Shout out.
We've had stupid athletes. We've had stupid referees. We had stupid parents. Hello, Mr.
Ball.
Dork.
Yeah.
I've got a stupid game of the week, and that's the NFL Pro Bowl. It's just nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody really plays. I didn't watch it. I mean, I don't know if it was stupid, but I'm assuming it was stupid because it's always stupid. But turn that around and go a couple days before to the skills competitions that they were having. They had a thing called kick-tack-toe, where they had a goalpost in the shape of a tic-tac-toe board and 2 kickers. There were 9 vectors, and they kicked.
Vectors, wow.
Vectors.
Yeah.
They kicked to play tic-tac-toe. From 45, from 35, it was really cool. They had a dodgeball competition. They had like a a relay race. I mean, it was and the players were having a blast. Everybody had their selfies and they're doing Instagram stuff and Russell Wilson was there.
Yeah.
You know. And Russell Wilson was there.
So the sideshow stuff was more entertaining than
it was, and it was really cool, and you get to see the players, you know, with their helmets off and having a good time and you know, just it was cool. So I did have the stupid game of the week, but there was some good that came out of it too. I'm in a giving mood today, Denny. Giving mood.
University of Montana Lady Griz basketball team at home this week. If you have not had a chance to see them at all or very much, get on out there. Let's pack the Adams Center tomorrow night versus Northern Colorado, 7 o'clock, and Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock versus North Dakota. Just wanted to get that plug in there. Both games on our sister station, 930 KMPT. Dick Slater and Tom Stage will have the call.
How much time we have, Denny?
We have a minute and a half. I just had to do a little maintenance there.
Okay, and I don't know if we covered this. I know we didn't. This guy, another recruit for the Grizzlies last night, committed. Alex Gubner, a 6'3", 295-pound defensive tackle, 3-star guy from Calabasas, California, and watched the video on him, and he is running down running backs. Yeah. And everybody, they rate these guys. 5 stars the best, 4-star, 3 5-star goes to Alabama, and 4 stars. 3 stars are great players. Yeah. Sometimes we get a handful of them. Well, so far this year, we've committed 3 3-star guys and 7 2-star guys, which means absolutely nothing at this point in time. But it's good to see that we're getting some players that, and not that we weren't before, but getting some players that have some pretty high regards. So, Coach Petrino, thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys. This was great.
Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks for all your support.
Good job.
And Denny, we'll see you next week.
Looking forward to it, Gern. See you then.
Out of here.